Thousands of medical kits that enable life-saving surgeries in the field are now on their way to classrooms across Israel, thanks to donations from the Samaritan's Purse organization. Now, these doctor kits, which are worth $2.5 million, are essential amid what has been a terrifying lack of medical equipment in Israel following Hamas's brutal surprise attack on Israel on October 7th. And joining us now is Dr. Hadar Milloh-Raz, an endocrinologist with Sheb Medical Center, who is the medical director in Brothers and Sisters in Arms. So, Doctor, you're a former battalion combat doctor, and you've been fighting to save lives since October 7th across Israel. Paint us a picture of what the situation was like for medical first responders following Hamas's attack on October 7th.
I just want to correct you first. Thank you for having me. I did not take part in the treating of wounded from October 7th. I'm a hospital doctor. I did take part in the operations of Brothers and Sisters for Israel as the medical chief of the operations. And what we put our emphasis on is actually, after October 7th, we realized two problems. First, lack of medical equipment. We know that a lot of the wounded ran into local clinics, which are not equipped for trauma. They don't have any medical kits for trauma treatment. And of course, doctors, paramedics, nurses who live in the different communities will not well organized, not necessarily organized in teams for treating a mass casualty event. So what we put our emphasis on is a project that is built from two parts, actually. One is the training of the teams from basic life support, from basic life support provider on the level of a tourniquet through a medic, and all the way to a paramedic or a doctor. The training takes place, it was built by the traumatologists here in Israel, and with the cooperation of Brothers and Sisters for Israel. And the second part was to equip all these teams with basic life support bags and the amazing donation, as you mentioned, by Samaritan's Purse of invaluable, really, ATLS kits or pre-hospital trauma life support kits, which will enable for doctors, paramedics, as a part of the team to save lives. Again, another understanding was not only the lack of equipment and organization, but also the long times for the ambulances to arrive to the scene and the long evacuation times to the hospital. And what we wanted to make sure is that the doctors and paramedics in the field, when they go out and help and aid the injured or the wounded, they will have kits that will provide them the ability to sustain lives out there in the field for many hours, for long duration of evacuation to the hospitals, which was not, unfortunately, on October 7th.
What kind of medical equipment are you talking about? I mean, break this down. Obviously, not every person who's watching us understands all of the terminology here, but, you know, we're interested to kind of understand what is needed in emergency scenarios like this.
Okay, so the basic kits include tourniquets, which I was very surprised to see and very happy to see that a lot of civilians in the scene of October 7th actually had tourniquets or improvised tourniquets. So the awareness is there, but we actually provided now a lot of tourniquets to the field, to the civilians. And so as I said, it starts from tourniquets, from bandages, and all the way to the very advanced trauma life support kits, which are intubation kits, chest tube kits, cricothyroidectomy kits, which enable intubating a patient that the regular intubation is unsuccessful. You can intubate them through the trachea in extreme cases. Again, minimal surgical kits in order to close wounds, again, in long periods of time before a patient or an injured person can get to the hospital. Right. So these are kits that were well thought and assembled, approximately 70 items, if I'm not mistaken, that enable the paramedic or a doctor to save more than one life, actually, in a multi-casualty event.
Well, you know, I'd like to thank you for joining us, because it is so essential that we see medical kits like this distributed across the country, especially amid fears of an even wider conflict in the coming months with Hezbollah. So, it is essential that we have this aid for Israelis across the country. Unfortunately, we have run out of time.
Thank you.